I love being this close to you.
Me too. Feels so right.
Annie Reed's world was darkness. Not the darkness of closing your eyes and seeing the backs of your eyelids. Not the darkness of a room with the lights off, but complete, absolute, terrifying darkness. The kind that came from her brain deciding she didn't need to see anymore. Psychosomatic blindness, the doctors called it. Trauma-induced. Temporary, they said. Maybe. She sat in her Chicago apartment, a place she'd lived for 3 years but now felt like a stranger's home, and reached out carefully. Her hands found a face, warm skin, strong jaw, the face of a man she couldn't see but knew better than anyone. "Tell me what you look like," she said softly, not for the first time.
Tell me what you look like.
Does it matter?
Sam Huang's voice came from the darkness, warm, patient, the voice that had become her entire world. "Does it matter?" "No." She smiled despite the blackness. "But I'm curious about the man I'm falling for." "Then let me describe you instead." His hands covered hers on his face. "You're beautiful, and not because of what I see, because of who you are. The way you laugh when you're nervous, the way you trust me even when you can't see where I'm taking you, the way you're brave even when you're terrified." Sam. "I love you, Annie Reed, sight or no sight." She leaned forward in the darkness, found his lips with hers, kissed him. In the blackness of her unseeing world, she'd never seen anything more clearly. Subscribe right now, because you need to know how a woman who went blind from heartbreak fell in love with the man who became her eyes. Hit that notification bell. This story is going to break you and heal you. Now let's go back to where it started, the day she lost her sight. 3 months earlier, the day everything went black. Annie Reed loved her life. 32 years old, art curator at the Art Institute of Chicago, engaged to Walter Chen, stable, predictable, safe. Wedding in 2 months, everything planned, everything perfect. She left work early that October afternoon, wanted to surprise Walter with dinner, stopped at the Korean market in Lincoln Square, their neighborhood, picked up ingredients for his favorite meal, walked into their apartment at 4:47 p.m., found Walter in their bed, with someone else. The shock hit her like physical force. Her vision blurred, then tunneled, then went completely black. She stood in the doorway of her own bedroom, staring at nothing, seeing nothing, hearing Walter scrambling to explain, and her entire world went dark. Literally. Psychosomatic blindness, the ER doctor explained hours later. Trauma can do this. The brain decides you don't want to see anymore, so it stops processing visual information. Could be days, could be weeks, could be months. "Will I see again?" Annie asked the darkness. "Most patients do, when you're ready, when you've processed the trauma." Walter came to the hospital, said he was sorry, said it was a mistake, said he'd make it right. Annie, staring at nothing, told him to leave. She went home to her apartment alone, blind, heartbroken, terrified. The first night was the worst. Annie sat on her couch in her apartment, a place she knew by heart but couldn't navigate blind, and cried until she had nothing left. Through the wall, she heard movement. Her neighbor in 3B. She'd lived across from him for 8 months. They'd said hi maybe 3 times total. She didn't even know his name. She heard him moving around, then silence. Then, faintly, she heard him on the other side of the wall, listening. A knock at her door. She froze. "Who is it?" "Your neighbor, from 3B, The male voice paused. Korean accent, slight, second generation maybe. "I heard crying, wanted to make sure you're okay." "I'm fine," Annie lied to the door. Silence. Then, "I'm leaving groceries outside your door. Milk, bread, eggs, fruit, in case you need anything." Footsteps retreating. Annie sat in the darkness, alone, and cried again. This time because a stranger had been kinder in 5 minutes than her fiancé had been in 3 years. The next morning, Annie tried to leave her apartment. She'd been blind for 16 hours. The apartment she knew perfectly well had become a minefield. She bumped into the coffee table, knocked over a lamp, couldn't find the door. When she finally got the door open and stepped into the hallway, she immediately tripped over something. Strong hands caught her before she hit the ground. "Careful," that same voice from last night, Korean American, warm, steady. There's a package here. Mail carrier left it right in front of your door. Annie found her footing, embarrassed, frustrated. Thank you, I can manage. I'm sure you can. He didn't let go until she was stable. But you don't have to. I'm Sam Huang, 3B. Annie Reed. I know, I've seen your name on the mailbox. A pause. What happened, if you don't mind me asking? Annie's hands found the wall, oriented herself toward her door. I'm blind. Temporarily, probably. The doctors think so. Trauma-induced. I'm sorry. Don't be. It's not your fault. She felt for her doorknob, found it. Thank you for the groceries, and for catching me. Anytime. She went back inside, closed the door, stood in the darkness of her apartment, and realized she was going to have to figure out how to live like this. Sam Huang started showing up. Not intrusively, just there when she needed him. The next day, he knocked. I'm going to the store. Can I get you anything? I'm fine. Okay, I'm leaving my number on a post-it on your door, in case you need anything. 2 days later, she called the number. I can't find my coffee. I know I have coffee. I can smell it, but I can't find it. He came over, found it immediately. Top shelf, right side. Want me to make you some? You don't have to. I know, but I'm already here. They had coffee together. He described the view from her window, Lake Michigan in the distance, autumn leaves turning orange and gold, the specific shade of the morning sky. Why are you doing this? Annie asked the darkness where his voice came from. Because you need help, and I can help. Is that okay? It was more than okay. It was everything. Over the next month, Sam became Annie's eyes. He walked with her to the corner store, describing every step. 3 more feet, then we turn left. There's a crack in the sidewalk here. Step up slightly. He helped her reorganize her apartment so she could navigate blind. We'll put everything in the same place every time. Kitchen stuff on the counter, left to right. Coffee, mugs, plates, silverware drawer. He cooked with her, guiding her hands. The pan's hot, careful. Now crack the egg. Yes, perfect. Hear that sizzle? That's how you know the temperature's right. They talked for hours, about everything, about art, her love since childhood, the way paintings made her feel things she couldn't name. About his family, complicated he said, but didn't elaborate. About her ex-fiancé, he's an idiot for letting you go. About loneliness, about fear, about learning to trust the world when you can't see it. Annie learned to hear his smile, to feel when he entered a room before he spoke, to trust him completely. She was falling in love with a voice in the darkness. Tell me what you look like, she asked one night while they were cooking dinner in her kitchen. Does it matter? No, but I'm curious. I'm average. Nothing special. 5'11", black hair, Korean features, standard. I don't believe the nothing special part. Why not? Because special people don't usually recognize themselves. But I hear it in your voice, in everything you do. Silence. Then, you're the special one, Annie. 6 weeks after going blind, Annie's best friend Maria visited from New York. Maria had been skeptical about Sam. Who is this neighbor? Why is he helping you so much? What does he want? He wants nothing. He's just kind. Nobody's just kind. But when Maria met Sam, when she actually saw him, her face changed. After he left, Maria pulled Annie aside. Annie, that's Sam Huang. I know his name. No, I mean the Huang family. They run like half the Korean businesses in Lincoln Square. Restaurants, import shops, real estate. So it's not all legitimate. My cousin lives in the neighborhood. She says the Huang family is connected. Organized crime. Korean mafia. Annie's blood went cold. What? I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. You should be careful. After Maria left, Annie sat in her apartment, her safe, dark world that suddenly felt less safe, and waited for Sam. He came by that evening like always. Want to make dinner? Are you involved in organized crime? The silence was answer enough. Sam? Yes. His voice was quiet. My family is. I've been trying to get out, trying to transition everything to legitimate operations. But yes, I'm involved. Why didn't you tell me? Because I liked being just Sam to you. Not the Huang family heir. Not someone you judge before knowing. Just me. The guy who helps you find your coffee and describes sunsets. You lied to me. I didn't lie. I just didn't tell you everything. A pause. I'm sorry. I should have told you sooner. I didn't want you to look at me the way you're looking at me right now. I can't see you at all, Sam. You know what I mean. Annie's hands shook. I need you to leave. Annie, please, just leave. I need to think. He left. For the first time in 6 weeks, Annie was alone in the darkness, and she hated it. 5 days passed. Annie tried to manage alone. She could navigate her apartment now, could make coffee, could even walk to the corner store if she counted steps and listened carefully. But it wasn't the same. She missed his voice describing the world, missed his hand on her arm guiding her, missed the way he made the darkness less terrifying. She missed him. Maria called. How are you doing? I sent him away. Good. No, not good. Maria, he's been the only good thing since I went blind. He's been everything. And I sent him away because of what his family is, not who he is. Annie, I'm an art curator. You know how much of the art world involves gray areas? Looted antiquities, murky provenance, art stolen during wars? My job is literally surrounded by morally complicated history. Who am I to judge Sam for his family's business when he's actively trying to leave it? That's different. Is it? Or am I just being a hypocrite because I'm scared? Annie hung up, stood in her apartment, made a decision. She walked across the hall, counted steps, found his door, knocked. Sam answered. She could hear the surprise in his voice. Annie? I'm sorry. I was scared, and I judged you for something that isn't who you are. It's just where you came from, and that was wrong. You had every right to be angry. Maybe, but I don't want to be angry. I want... She stopped. Can I come in? Of course. She stepped into his apartment. First time she'd been here. Couldn't see it, but could feel it was different than hers. Lived in, warm, smelling like ginger and sesame oil. I need to tell you something, Sam said, about why I've been helping you. Okay? I saw you before, 6 months ago, before you went blind, before Walter, before any of this. Annie's breath caught. What? I was at the Art Institute with my uncle, legitimate business meeting. You were giving a tour. I saw you talking about a painting, explaining the brushstrokes, the history, the emotion behind it. You were luminous. I wanted to talk to you, but I knew who I was, what my family is. You'd never look twice at someone from my world. So when I went blind, I saw a chance to be someone to you without all the baggage. Just Sam. Not Sam Huang, Korean mafia heir trying to go legitimate. Just Sam, who helps you find coffee and describes the color of leaves. His voice dropped. I know that's selfish. I know I should have told you, but I wanted you to love me before you knew all the reasons not to. Annie stood in his apartment, in the darkness, processing this. You loved me before I even knew you existed. Yes. And you waited. And when I was at my lowest, you helped me, with no guarantee I'd ever feel the same. Yes. She stepped toward his voice. Her hands found his chest, felt his heartbeat. Sam Huang, I fell in love with you in the dark, with your voice, with your kindness, with the way you make me feel safe when I'm terrified. Knowing about your family doesn't change that. Knowing you saw me first doesn't change that. The only question is, do you want me? All of me. Not blind Annie who needed you. Me. I've wanted you since the moment I saw you at that museum talking about art like it was the most important thing in the world. She kissed him. In the darkness of her unseeing world, she found him perfectly. 2 weeks later, Annie's sight started coming back. It happened in flashes, moments of blurry vision, shapes and light, then darkness again. The doctor said it was progress. Her brain was healing. Vision could return gradually or all at once. No way to predict. The first thing Annie saw clearly was Sam's apartment door. She was standing in the hallway, vision blurry but functional, and she could make out the number, 3B. She knocked. Sam answered. She saw him, truly saw him, for the first time. Korean American, handsome, sharp jaw, dark eyes, black hair, exactly as tall as he'd said. But more than that, worried eyes, gentle expression, the face of someone who'd been carrying fear. Annie? His voice uncertain. I can see you, she whispered, little bit at a time, but I can see you. Wanted you to be the first person I saw clearly." His face crumpled with relief. "Thank God. I've been so worried." "You're beautiful," she interrupted. "Just so you know, you said you were average and nothing special. You were completely wrong." He smiled, and she saw it. Saw the way his whole face lit up. "Annie, I love you, Sam Huang. I loved you when I couldn't see you. I love you now that I can. And I'll love you tomorrow when I wake up with better vision and see you even more clearly." He pulled her into his apartment, kissed her. "I love you. God, I love you so much. Show me your apartment. I want to see where you live." He gave her the tour, the living room where he'd paced worrying about her, the kitchen where he'd learned to cook her favorite meals, the window where he'd stood watching her building across the way before she ever knew he existed. "How long were you watching me?" she asked, not angry, just curious. Not watching, just noticing, hoping, wanting to talk to you but never having the courage. "And then I went blind. And then you needed help, and I could finally be something to you." Annie took his face in her hands, seeing him clearly now, no more blur. "You were always something to me, from the moment you left groceries at my door, from the first time you caught me when I fell. You were everything." Annie's vision came back completely 3 weeks later. She woke up one morning and could see, perfectly, clearly, every color, every detail, every beautiful thing she'd been missing. Sam was asleep next to her. They'd been staying at her apartment mostly, closer to her work. She looked at him in the morning light and thought, "I could have seen anyone first. I'm glad it was you." He woke up, saw her looking. "You can see." "I can see everything," she smiled. "It's strange. I spent 3 months blind, learned to live in darkness, learned to trust my other senses, and now that I can see again, I keep closing my eyes just to remember what it was like, to hear your voice without seeing your face, to fall in love with who you are instead of what you look like. Do I disappoint in the light? You're more beautiful than I imagined, which is saying something because I imagined you pretty perfect." They stayed in bed talking about what came next. Her job. She'd taken medical leave but wanted to return. His family business. He'd made progress transitioning to legitimate operations, but there was still work to do. "Will you be safe?" she asked. "Leaving the family business completely?" "My uncle supports it. Some of the old guard don't. But I'm willing to risk it. For us. For a life I can be proud of. I don't want you in danger because of me. I'm not in danger because of you. I'm choosing a different path because of me. You just gave me a reason to want that path more." 6 months after Annie regained her sight, it mentioned beautiful, Sam took her back to the Art Institute. She'd returned to work 3 months earlier. Full vision, full capacity. She told her boss the whole story, minus the Korean mafia part, and he'd been incredibly supportive. Now, Sam wanted to show her something. They walked through the museum on a Saturday afternoon. He led her to the Asian art wing, stopped in front of a Korean painting, 19th century, landscape, mountains, and mist. "This is where I was standing when I first saw you," Sam said, 6 months before you went blind. "My uncle had a meeting with a museum donor. I was here as, let's call it, security, and I was looking at this painting when I heard your voice." Annie looked at the painting, remembered that day. "I gave a tour to a big donor group, talked about this exact painting. You said it showed the artist's longing for home, that the mist represented memory. You can see through it but not clearly. That the mountains were constant, but the mist was always changing. And I thought, she sees everything, not just the painting, everything. And you fell in love with me talking about art history. I fell in love with the way you see the world, the way you find meaning in everything, the way you're not afraid to feel deeply." He turned to her. "I've been waiting 6 months to bring you back here, to this spot, to tell you, this is where it started. Me standing here, falling in love with a woman who didn't know I existed." Annie took his hand. "And now? Now you're here. You can see me. You know everything about me, the good and the bad. And somehow you still chose me. Best choice I ever made." "Annie," he got down on one knee. Her breath stopped. "I know we've only been together 6 months. I know you went through hell. I know I'm not perfect. I come from a complicated family. I've done things I'm not proud of. I probably don't deserve you. But I love you. I loved you when you couldn't see me. I love you now that you can. And I'll love you for the rest of my life, if you'll let me." He pulled out a ring. "Will you marry me?" Annie looked down at this man, this Korean-American reformed mafia heir, who'd become her eyes when she was blind and her heart when she was broken. "Yes," she said. "Yes, yes, yes." He stood, slid the ring on her finger, kissed her in front of the Korean painting where he'd first fallen in love with her voice. People in the museum clapped. Annie laughed through tears. "This is where it started." "This is where everything starts," Sam said. "From here." Annie Reed went blind from heartbreak. Sam Hwang became her eyes. She fell in love in the darkness with a man she couldn't see, and when her sight returned, she saw him clearly for the first time, and loved him even more. Sometimes you need to lose sight to truly see what matters. Sometimes the person who helps you through your darkest moment becomes the light you need forever. Subscribe for Korean Mafia romance, where love transcends sight, where kindness and darkness becomes love and light, where falling for someone's voice is just the beginning. Comment below, could you fall in love with someone you'd never seen? Would you trust a voice in the darkness? Share this with someone who needs to be reminded
This one
that
here
sometimes
captures the light
not seeing is the
perfectly. It's
only
just like
way
you
to
taught me to
truly
see.
see what's important.
I loved you blind.
I'll see you in the
I
next
love you
one.
seeing. Sight or no sight, you're the one I see.